Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. TMax here. There's a lot of photos in this one. They're not organized. It's just in the order that I took them since I've arrived. So sometimes I'll talk about one subject and go to a whole bunch of different subjects and then come back to that subject from before. Sorry, that's just how it is. A lot of photos. Let's jump right in. So Dance Dance Revolution is still popular here. And there's these two guys that are pretty good and all these people are watching them. So living abroad, you get wonderful opportunities to try things like different flavors of food. And so this is funny because it shows you how important cell phones are here. This is free mobile charge station at the bank, and they have all the different kinds of connectors. They even have the old iPhone connector. Yeah, because you need to be able to charge your phone to use it or you will die in China. So this is a park that I used to go to. I just love this list of things you can't do in the park. You can't swim, you can't drive, no guns, no bikes. It's funny this list is long and it seems exhaustive, but at least half of these things still happen in this park, especially this thing over here. So yeah, this is in Walmart. If you want fresh food, you get fresh food. Like, it's alive still. And I don't think Walmarts in the West have living animals in their grocery store part. They have turtles, frogs, you get lots of different options. And this is the first place I ever seen like green eggs. So you know the book Green Eggs and Ham? I always thought that was a joke, and then I moved here and I'm like, oh, they actually have green eggs. Some are blue and these are like purple. Yeah, I don't know if that's just how they dyed them when they cleaned them, because most of the eggs are brown. The ones I eat are usually brown. Yeah, and just in any store you will see guns, things that look like real weapons, and you're just like, wow, that looks real. I'd never seen anybody use these, but I see these around quite a bit in Beijing. They're libraries. Basically, you can come here and rent a book, and I guess you return it here or to another one whenever. But I've never seen anybody use these things. But I see them, they have power, they're on. Yeah, so Beijing has a lot of pollen in the summer. So your cars will look like this, and I feel bad for people with allergies because it's actually springtime. It's really bad. And of course, because I mentioned in other videos about KTV being really popular, sometimes you just need to KTV, at the store. This is outside of Carrefour. So, you've been shopping all day and you just really need to get your KTV on, get your karaoke on. Just go in this booth and, sitting there with a friend. And it's funny, this was taken a while ago because now these same booths are limited. There's a big sign on it. It's limited to one person because of COVID. So you can't have two people in these anymore. So this is the first time I'd ever seen this. All these YMI guys, they're all just like hanging out, waiting for, a phone call for a delivery or whatever. And you see some of them like reclining on the scooter, laying down. Okay, so how many people in this picture are not looking at their phone? She's not looking at her phone because she just put it down right before I took this picture. And he's not looking at his phone. He doesn't even have one in his hands. So everybody else is looking down. You can't see it. I should have put it. The air pollution is over 400.
It's over 9,000!
So anything like over 150, like they're like, oh, it's super dangerous, don't go outside. And these guys are out here, no masks on. This was like 2 or 3 years ago. This was my biggest fear when I moved here. Like, I'm going to die from air pollution. So this is the Baoan, the security guard at my community, my old community. And sometimes I come home from work and, yeah. So thankfully the door was automated for me or I'd have been stuck. But drivers, they come and they're just, oh, like, people are funny. You could like roll down the window, excuse me, or, honk lightly. No, they're going to lay on the horn to wake him up. Yeah, because lotion is super expensive here, first of all. And secondly, it's in a glass case. Like, who? Why is lotion so highly protected here? I think these are the only two kinds of lotion in this whole store. So they're very scarce and therefore very valuable. And of course, rice is a big part of life here, and there's lots of rice to choose from. This is the first time I had ever seen black chicken. So I was like, huh, okay. It's funny, these are pork rinds effectively, but just the way they make them is a little bit different. Like in the West, we eat them like as a chip or a snack. And here, this is a big bag, and so Ofo is a shared bike service that went out of business a couple years ago. They used to have these like really cute Minion bikes that I used to like getting. I was like, oh, I got the Minion bike. And this is me, just like, wow, what did I get myself into? So this is maybe like a kilometer, not even a whole mile from where I'm standing. I can barely see this building, and I can't see any of the buildings back here. The CCTV building is back here, and I can normally see it from this bridge. And you don't see it, I don't see it, because the air pollution. And I came across this wonderful piece of fruit, some sort of melon. Had never seen it before. In these restaurants and spas and barbershops and stuff like that, before the shift starts, before they open for business, they always like line everybody up and they do like a motivational speech and, you know, get everybody ready for the day. It's just really funny. Sometimes they come out here on the road and do it, so you're just like watching them. And Mobike is another brand of shared bike service that went out of business as well. I think Meituan bought them, and so, but you can see their bikes were horrible. Like just the wheels all curved, and yeah, people didn't treat these bikes very well, which is probably why they went out of business. When I had moved to China, San Francisco was the only place in the U.S. that had shared scooters. Like they were not a thing, and I'd never heard of them in Europe either. And here they're all over. You can just public scooters. I was like, this is so cool. Every one of them is in the full squat, except for this girl, and she's in like a Japanese kneeling position. Both of these positions are darn near impossible for people in the West. Why don't we practice this? Practice more. So I just pulled up to a stoplight. I'm actually in the bike lane, you can see, but this is the road, and all of these scooters are just like, because there's no cars coming yet, so the scooters are like, man, this belongs to me now. I want to say this was at Walmart or Carrefour, I can't remember. I just thought this bundle was interesting. Beer and bacon. Yep, here's probably another reason why OFO went out of business. And so this is how they pick up the shared bikes. Now this one looks a little like old school, but there's also like bigger trucks where they throw them in the back. The nicer services have that, but a lot of them still do it like this. The cart's usually a little bit bigger, but they just pile them up and then drive them to wherever they want to drop them off. And then again, so these pedestrians, bicyclists, scooter people, so the crosswalk is only here. Do you see people all the way out here? It's be water, my friend. Yeah, I talked about another video. It was a transportation video. There's space, I'm going to fill it. And also in that transportation video, I mentioned these guys. These are like the electric scooter cars. So they drive in the bike lane, and you don't need a license for these things. And these people, it's usually older people, but they are not the best drivers. I kind of want one myself. This was the first or second time that I went to the Great Wall. And as soon as you get off this bus, all these guys, they're not waiting to get on the bus. They're trying to offer you a ride to the Great Wall, because this bus takes you like all the way to the outside of the city, and all these guys are trying to sell their services to drive you the rest of the way. I mean, like, you can't even get off. This dude is right at the door. You don't even get off the bus, and they're already like, you need a ride, you need a ride, you need a ride. It's like, good grief. We ended up using one of these guys though. And so this was at Huma, and one of their specialties is live seafood. So they have this huge like aquarium, but two crawfish said, nope, you're not eating me today, and they jumped out. And then this guy, he's walking in the picture. I didn't take the picture because I didn't know what he was doing. He picks this thing up and throws it back in the thing, and he was a customer. I was like, dude, you're brave. Like, and then I was like, oh, well, maybe he can get money if they sue, but I don't think they do that here. So he's brave. And so I mentioned this in another video too, like this is just a guy selling water on the street. You just scan his QR code. The street sellers always have cash. So what people do is if they need cash, they go find them to try to get change. And they'll just buy something and like, oh, can I scan the code and I'll pay you extra money on the code and you give me back physical money. And sometimes they'll do that. And again, because phones absolutely have to be charged, there's these chargers everywhere. And this was like in a small restaurant, like, you know, a mom and pop store, one that probably couldn't afford like the big power bank machine. So they just got this one little charger, and for 1 yuan you get a whole hour, and you just have to leave your phone here while it charges. I was like, wow, that's 1 yuan is like 20 cents. And again, yeah, just guns, and you see there's like no red tip on the end, so somebody can whip this gun out, and that looks real to me. The aging population here, they get their workout on in the parks. And it's funny because they do like this organized like line dance type thing, and you can see they're all facing the right direction. And there's even people like on the outside you can't even see on the screen, and everybody knows the dance moves, and they're all doing it just to the music. And it's actually pretty cool to watch. And so in this community, they had just installed this, but I had not seen this before they installed it. But after I left this community, I started seeing them everywhere. And basically, it's just a drop-off place for deliveries and stuff like that. If they can't, get up to your house, you normally just leave in front of the door. They'll call you, say, just leave it in front of the door. But what they started doing was putting them in these boxes. Of course, if it's small enough package. Okay, wow, thank you. Lots of photos. I hope you enjoyed that. If you are new to this channel, remember to hit subscribe, hit like and share and comment. If you're coming back, thanks for joining me again. Leave some comments below. Let me know your experiences, especially if you're an expat. And I will see you in the next video.